work hard like every waking hour.
Before you close this video, before you go back to your day, I want to ask you one question.
I even began.
When something is important enough, you do it even if the odds are not in your favor.
2008 was brutal.
So you didn't have a happy childhood?
I'm Elon's father.
I am the reason OpenAI exists.
I think he's probably just trying to slow us down.
Save America. Vote Trump.
This is X.
Before we start, I want you to think about something. Right now, as you watch this video, there is a man on this planet who owns the world's most advanced private rocket company. He also owns the world's largest satellite internet network. He also owns the most talked about social media platform on earth. He also runs the most valuable car company in history. He also has a company putting computer chips inside human brains. And he has also an artificial intelligence company competing directly with OpenAI and Google. 6 companies, one man at the same time. Now here is the question nobody is asking. Not how did he build all of this, not how rich is he. The real question is this: what is actually happening inside the mind of a person who can do that? Because it's not normal, it has never been done before, and it will not happen again by accident. So today we are going to go somewhere most Elon Musk videos never go. We are not going to talk about his wealth, his drama. We are going to study him the way you study a system, the way an engineer studies a machine. Because Elon is not just a businessman, he is a completely different way of thinking. And by the end of this video, you will understand exactly how that thinking works and what you can actually take from it. Stay with me. Let us start with a fact that will make everything else make sense. Every single year, thousands of people try to do what Elon Musk has done. Brilliant people, well-funded people, people with Ivy League degrees and Silicon Valley connections, and investors writing them blank checks. And almost all of them fail. Not because they are not smart enough, not because they do not work hard enough. They fail because they are playing a completely different game than Elon Musk, and they do not even know it. Here is what I mean. In 1999, a young man named Martin Eberhard had a brilliant idea: electric cars. He co-founded Tesla. He had the vision, he had the passion, he had the first prototype. And by 2007, he had run the company into the ground. Cost overruns, production failures. A car that was supposed to cost $92,000 was now costing $140,000 to make. The company was collapsing. Elon Musk, who had invested in Tesla and joined the board, flew in, called an emergency meeting and removed Eberhard as a CEO. Then he took over himself, and within 3 years, Tesla survived bankruptcy, launched the Model S, and began its journey to becoming the most valuable car company on earth. Now here is the question: what did Musk do differently? Was he smarter than Eberhard? Not necessarily. Did he work harder? Perhaps. But that is not the answer. The real answer is that Elon Musk operates from a completely different mental framework. One that most people have never been taught, one that most business schools do not even fully understand. And that framework has a name. He calls it first principles thinking. But before we explain what that is, we need to go back, all the way back, to a small, strange, lonely boy in South Africa. Because you can't understand the system without understanding where it was built. Pretoria, South Africa, 1980. A 9-year-old boy sits alone in the corner of a school playground, not because he is in trouble, because he has no friends. His name is Elon. He is the kind of child that other children do not know what to do with. He does not play the same games. He does not talk about the same things. He spends his breaks reading encyclopedias, not for school, for himself.
I did not have a sort of happy childhood, to be frank. It was quite rough. But I read a lot of books. I read lots and lots of books.
By the time he is 10 years old, he has read every book in his school library. He has moved on to the city library. He reads science fiction, philosophy, physics. He reads the way other children breathe, constantly, without effort, as if the books are feeding something in him that the real world cannot reach. At home, things are difficult. His parents divorce when he is 9. He chooses to live with his father, Elon Musk.
Elon said he wanted to go and live with his father, and that made me very sad.
A decision he will later describe as a mistake. His father is a complicated man, intelligent, harsh, sometimes cruel.
I'm Elon's father. My relationship with Elon is very much the same as my relationship I had with my father.
Elon has said in interviews that his father has a talent for making people feel small. For a boy who is already small in the world, already a target at school, home is not the refuge it is supposed to be. So he goes deeper into his mind. He teaches himself to code at age 12, not from a class, from a book, a programming manual. He writes his own video game, a space-themed game called Blastar, and sells it to a computer magazine for $500. He is 12 years old. Now here is what I want you to understand about this period of Elon Musk's life. The bullying gets worse before it gets better. A group of boys beats him so badly that he ends up in hospital. They throw him down a flight of concrete stairs. Then they kick him while he is down. He misses several days of school recovering. This is not a metaphor. This is not a story to make you feel sympathy. This is an event that happened to a real child, and it shaped everything that came after, because something happens to a person who grows up in that environment. Either they shrink, they become smaller and smaller until they disappear into the world's expectations of them, or they do something else entirely. They built an interior world so strong, so rich, so vast, that the exterior world loses its power over them. Elon Musk built an interior world. By 17, he had made a decision. He was leaving, not just leaving home, leaving the continent, living the life that had been assigned to him. He obtained Canadian citizenship through his mother, May Musk. He packed what he could, he told almost nobody, and he left South Africa with $2,000 and a single carry-on bag. He landed in Canada with no job, no connections, no plan beyond a belief that was almost irrational in its certainty. A belief that the future was somewhere else and that he was supposed to help build it. He worked at a lumber mill to survive. He cleaned boilers. He did a git, did whatever paid. He ate the cheapest food he could find. He slept on floors and couches, and he kept reading. He got into Queen's University in Canada, then transferred to the University of Pennsylvania in the United States on a scholarship. He studied economics and physics simultaneously, not one degree, two. At Penn, he started thinking seriously about what he wanted to do with his life. He made a list of the problems he believed were most important for humanity to solve: the internet, sustainable energy, making humans a multi-planetary species. He was 22 years old writing that list. He got accepted to Stanford University for a PhD in energy physics. He deferred, then he never went back because the internet was happening and he needed to be inside it. He and his brother Kimball started a company called Zip2, a digital city guide for newspapers. They worked from a tiny office where Elon also slept on a couch. He showered at the local YMCA to save money. They sold Zip2 in 1999 for $307 million. Elon's cut $22 million, age 27. Most people would stop. Most people would breathe. Most people would buy something beautiful and take a year off. Elon Musk immediately started his next company, X.com, an online financial services company that would eventually become PayPal. The story of PayPal is its own documentary, but for our purposes, what matters is this. In 2002, eBay acquired PayPal for $1.5 billion. Elon Musk's cut $180 million, age 31. And here is where the man we know begins to emerge. Because instead of retiring, instead of buying an island, instead of doing anything that a rational human being with $180 million would do, he took every single dollar and invested it into 3 companies that almost every expert in the world said would fail: rockets, electric cars, solar energy, the 3 hardest, most capital intensive, most technically demanding industries on earth. Why? Because of the list he made at 22, the problems humanity needed to solve. The internet, he had already helped build it. Sustainable energy, multi-planetary species, those were still undone. So he started SpaceX in 2002. Tesla in 2004. Solar City shortly after. And then, almost immediately, everything began to fall apart.
2008 was brutal.
2008. Let me paint this picture for you carefully, because this is the most important year in Elon Musk's life, and it is the year that reveals everything about how he is built differently.
Like, one of the most difficult choices I ever faced in life was in 2008.
SpaceX has now attempted to launch the Falcon 1 rocket 3 times. 3 times it has failed. 3 times it has exploded or malfunctioned or fallen back into the ocean.
Can we just break for a second?
Sure, of course, yeah.
Each failure costs tens of millions of dollars. At the same time, Tesla is weeks away from bankruptcy.
Tesla almost went bankrupt.
The Model S is behind schedule. Costs have exploded. Investors are losing faith. The company needs $40 million just to survive Christmas. At the same time, Elon's marriage to his first wife, Justine, is ending publicly, painfully.
He had left a message for her to tell me that he was filing for divorce.
He has no income. He is borrowing money from friends to cover his personal rent. Let that land for a moment. The man who sold PayPal for $180 million is borrowing money from friends to pay rent because he has put everything, every single dollar, into his companies. He gives an interview during this period and he breaks down on camera.
I was very sad to see that.
Not completely, but enough. You can see it, the weight of what he is carrying, the sheer unreasonable self-imposed pressure of a man who has bet his entire life on a future that is not cooperating. His friends beg him to stop, to cut his losses, to let at least one of the companies die so the other might survive. He refuses, he does not sleep, he barely eats. He is in the factories, in the design rooms, on the phone with engineers at 3 a.m.
No one should put this many hours into work. This is not good.
And then on the night of December 24th, 2008, Christmas Eve, 2 things happen. At 4 p.m., SpaceX launches the Falcon 1 for the 4th time. It reaches orbit.
When critics say you can't do this, your answer to them is,
We've done it.
This time around, everything worked.
Perfect.
For the first time in history, a privately funded rocket has reached orbit. 6 hours later, at 6 p.m., Tesla closes an emergency funding round, $40 million by the skin of its teeth. 2 miracles, 1 night, 1 man who refused to stop. NASA calls 2 days later with a $1.6 billion contract. Elon Musk has not slept properly in months. He will later describe this period as the closest he came to breaking. And this is where I need to pause the story, because what happens in that moment, what allows a person to hold on past the point where every logical signal says stop, that is not luck. That is a system, a way of thinking that processes reality differently from how most of us have been trained to process it. And that system is what we need to understand now. Let us talk about how Elon Musk actually thinks, not the mythology, the mechanics. There are 5 core elements to the way his mind operates, and each one is learnable, not easy, but learnable. Element 1. First principles thinking. Most people think by analogy. They look at how things have been done before, and they make small improvements to existing models. That is not wrong. It is efficient. It works for most situations. But Elon Musk thinks differently. He starts from scratch. He asks, if we stripped away everything we assume to be true, what would we be left with? What are the actual physical constraints here? What are the actual laws that cannot be broken? Here is how he explained it himself in an interview. He was asked why rockets are so expensive. The conventional wisdom said rockets cost $500 million because that is what rockets cost. The industry had accepted this as a fact. Elon asked a different question. What are rockets made of? Aerospace-grade aluminum, titanium, copper, carbon fiber. What do those raw materials cost? He looked it up. The raw materials for a rocket cost about 2% of the price of a finished rocket. So why is the price 98% higher than the materials? Because nobody had ever seriously tried to reduce it, because the industry had accepted its own assumptions. SpaceX then proceeded to manufacture most of its own rocket components in-house, driving costs down by a factor of 10. That is first principles thinking in action, not asking how do we do this better, asking why do we do this at all. Element 2, the algorithm. Elon Musk has spoken publicly about what he calls his algorithm for engineering and problem solving. He applies it to every company he runs. Step 1, question every requirement, every specification, every rule, every constraint. Ask who put it there and why. If the person who created a requirement cannot explain it, remove it. Step 2. Delete the part or process. The bias should always be toward removing things, not adding. Most organizations add complexity over time. Elon's instinct is always to remove. Step 3. Simplify and optimize. Only after you have deleted everything you can delete, do you then optimize what remains. Optimizing something that should not exist is a waste. Step 4. Accelerate the cycle time. Move faster, reduce the time between decisions and results. Step 5. Automate. Only after the first 4 steps are done. This is why SpaceX can build rockets faster and cheaper than NASA. They are not working harder. They are questioning every single assumption before they work at all. Element 3. Tolerance for risk. Reframed. Most people think Elon Musk is a risk taker, that he is reckless, that he bets big and hopes for the best. This is completely wrong. Elon Musk does not think of himself as reckless. He thinks in probabilities. He has explained this multiple times. When he started SpaceX, he estimated the probability of success at 10%. He thought there was a 90% chance it would fail, but he calculated that the expected value, the importance of the outcome multiplied by even that small probability of success was high enough to justify the attempt. He was not betting that he would win. He was betting that the attempt was worth making even if he lost. That is a completely different relationship with risk. Most people avoid risk because they cannot tolerate the idea of failing. Elon Musk accepts the probability of failure in advance. He pre-processes it, and then he acts anyway. This is why 2008 did not break him. He had already accepted the possibility of failure from day one. It was not a surprise, it was within his probability range. Element 4. The mission as Armour. There is one more element that is harder to quantify, but perhaps the most important of all. Elon Musk genuinely believes that what he is building matters, not for his bank account, for the survival of the species. He believes climate change is an existential threat. He believes being a single-planet civilization is an existential risk. He believes artificial intelligence requires safeguards that only a well-resourced independent actor can provide. These are not talking points, they are not brand strategy. When you read his interviews from 2001, from 2005, from 2010, the same concerns appear again and again, years before they became mainstream conversations, and here is why this matters for understanding how he operates. When your work is connected to something you believe is genuinely important, not just profitable, not just impressive, but necessary, you have access to a level of motivation that money simply cannot purchase. You can pay someone to work 40 hours a week. You cannot pay someone to believe. Elon's engineers at SpaceX do not just have jobs. They believe they are building the lifeboat for humanity. That belief is irrational by conventional measures, but it produces outcomes that conventional motivation cannot. Element 5. Rapid iteration and learning from failure. SpaceX famously live streams its rocket explosions. They celebrate them. They have even named their failure mode Rapid Unscheduled Disassembly. This is not humor for the camera. It is a cultural philosophy. Every explosion is data. Every failure is a lesson that no simulation can replicate. And the faster you can fail, learn and try again, the faster you reach success. Most large organizations spend enormous resources trying to prevent public failure. SpaceX invites the public to watch failure in real time because the culture Elon Musk has built treats failure not as a verdict on the mission but as information about the path. He has said explicitly, if things are not failing, you are not innovating fast enough. These 5 elements, first principles thinking, the algorithm, probability-based risk assessment, mission-driven motivation, and rapid iteration are not separate habits. They are a unified operating system. And this operating system is what separates Elon Musk from every other ambitious person on Earth. Not his IQ, not his money, his framework. Everything I have described sounds powerful, and it is, but there is a cost to this operating system that Elon Musk himself has acknowledged. 3 marriages ended. A son who has publicly cut ties with him and changed her name to distance herself from the Musk name. Employees who describe extreme psychological pressure. A public life that is permanent, relentless, and often brutal. He has said in interviews that his mind does not switch off, that he cannot fully be present at a dinner table because part of his brain is always running calculations, always processing problems, always running the algorithm. He has said that he would not recommend his lifestyle to most people. That sentence is important because there is a version of the Elon Musk story that turns into a simple motivational message. Work 100 hours a week. Think in first principles. Bet everything. Win. That version is incomplete. The complete version is this. Elon Musk made a choice, a conscious, eyes-open choice to trade the comfort of a normal life for the pursuit of a mission he believes is bigger than himself. That choice came at a real price, paid in relationships, in sleep, in personal peace.
22 hours a day? Like what? How many hours?
Just working, so 7 days a week, sleeping at the factory, I worked in the paint shop, general assembly, body shop.
You ever worry about yourself imploding, like it's just too much?
Absolutely.
He made the trade knowing the terms, and whether you admire him or critique him, whether you agree with his politics or find him infuriating, you have to acknowledge one thing: he has been consistent. From the boy reading encyclopedias alone in a South African playground to the man putting humans on rockets in Texas, the mission has not changed, the belief has not wavered, the work has never stopped. Now here is where this video turns from being about Elon Musk to being about you. Because I did not spend 25 minutes studying this man just to celebrate him. I spent 25 minutes studying him because the questions his life raises are the same questions every one of us has to answer eventually. What do you actually believe matters? Not what you say matters, not what sounds good, what you actually organize your life around. Because Elon Musk's secret is not first principles thinking, it is not the algorithm, it is not his tolerance for risk. His real secret is that he found the thing he believed was worth everything, and then he gave it everything. Most people spend their lives looking for a shortcut to success, looking for the morning routine, the productivity hack, the investment strategy. Elon Musk spent his life looking for the mission. The routine followed, the productivity followed, the results followed, but only after the mission was clear. So before you close this video, before you go back to your day, I want to ask you one question. Not what is your goal, not what do you want to achieve, what do you believe is worth everything? Because the day you can answer that question clearly, that is the day you stop consuming other people's stories and start building your own. If this video made you think differently about how you approach your own life and work, share it with one person who needs to hear it. Subscribe if you want more breakdowns like this. We are not just covering news here, we are studying the people and ideas that are shaping the future, because understanding the future is the first step to being ready for it. See you in the next one.